Los Angeles Lakers are one of the most storied franchises in the history of sports, and they've captured many championships over several eras. Of course, there's the early 2000s with Kobe Bryant, as well as Shaquille O'Neal, and if it wasn't for some personal differences between the two, they could have won a few more, but still a three-peat is pretty awesome. There was the NBA's first superstar in George Mikan, who led him to 5, and then there was also Jerry West, who took the Lakers to the finals many times. He only captured 1 because of Bill Russell in the Lake. But him and Wilt Chamberlain still had some exciting days in LA for the Lakers. And who can forget Kobe's second run at the finals with a whole new group of guys centered around Pau Gasol, but there was also some decent talent like Andrew Bynum and Lamar Odom and all that. But we're going to be focusing on the Showtime era, led by Magic Johnson, the best point guard of all time, one of the best players of all time, period. And Magic had some elite talent with him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, even as he got older, still impossible to stop in the post, as well as James Worthy, one of the most athletic players the wing positions has ever seen. But what if I told you these 3 guys were acquired by the Lakers in some pretty lopsided trades that are actually miraculous looking at in retrospect? Well, let's begin with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, Kareem, or Lou Alcindor when he entered the NBA, led the Bucks to a championship only 2 years into his career, and a big part of this was Oscar Robertson as well. But Oscar would retire by the time Kareem had really entered his prime, and so while he was emerging as potentially the best player in the NBA, dominating on both sides of the floor, doing everything he could for Milwaukee to win, but unfortunately, the year after Oscar Robertson retired, 1975, the Bucks won 38 games, 6 games under 500, and it didn't take long after that for Kareem to say, all right, get me the hell up out of here. And among the teams that he was willing to get moved to, the only one who gave the Bucks a real offer was the Los Angeles Lakers, who were pretty much made of Gail Goodrich and a whole bunch of blah. Now remember Goodrich, because his role in this video is going to become actually massive for the Lakers later on. But regardless, Kareem was a Laker the very next season, and well, we have to look at this trade because it's lopsided for some reason, so why is that? Well, Milwaukee would take back Elmore Smith, a decent center, Brian Winters, who would average about 16 points over his whole career, Dave Myers, who was actually the second pick in the draft, but he retired only 4 years into his career for some personal reasons, as well as Junior Bridgman, who actually played for the Bucks for over a decade, and he was decent, but that's it. That's all the Bucks got back for trading away a guy who many people believe is one of the 5 best players in the history of the NBA. That's quite a lopsided move if you ask me, but that's only the first one of this Lakers journey. Because if we fast forward to 1979, the Lakers hadn't even reached the finals with Kareem on the team yet. They were decent, but they weren't too great. Well, insert our buddy Gail Goodrich, who chose to leave the Lakers after Kareem's first season in free agency, and he would choose to join up with the New Orleans Jazz and teammate Pete Maravich. I mean, Pete Maravich and Gail Goodrich together sounds like a hell of a backcourt, right? Well, not exactly. Now for Maravich, he continued being him. I mean, he averaged 30 points per game and went on to be one of the best NBA players ever. It was pretty ugly for Goodrich, however. Combination of injuries as well as old age. He just was nothing compared to what he once was on the Lakers. And having a disappointing free agent sucks. But compensating his original team with 3 first-round draft picks makes it even worse. Oh, you heard me correctly. The New Orleans Jazz, and yeah, I know the jersey says Utah, don't worry about it. They gave the Lakers the 1977, 78, and 79 first-round picks as compensation for Goodrich leaving there in free agency. That's pretty frickin' crazy. And, well, we're going to focus on that 1979 pick for a second. You want to know who that pick ended up being? Well, it was Magic Johnson. The Jazz were horrible, Goodrich didn't play well, the Lakers got the number 1 pick in the draft, and just like that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the star player next to him he really needed, and in only Magic's rookie year, the Lakers had already captured their first of many championships of this era. But hold on, it gets even better. The Lakers selected James Worthy with the number 1 overall pick in 1982. But hold on, how did a team that was competing for championships get the number 1 overall pick? Well, I want to introduce you to former Cleveland Cavaliers owner Ted Stepien, who, by the way, is the reason why the NBA will not allow teams to trade first-round picks in successive years. Stepien felt that the lottery-driven 1980 Cleveland Cavaliers, who were led by Mike Mitchell, shout out to him, should trade their 1982 first-round pick for the Lakers' pick in 1980. Yeah, a lottery team exchanged draft picks with one of the best teams in the NBA. I mean, that's like all-time bad. That's just stupid how bad that is. And anyway, like I mentioned, 1982, Lakers draft James Worthy, and he goes on to be a key member of the Showtime Lakers. So isn't it funny, with the dynasty that the LA Lakers had in the 1980s, under Magic Johnson and all these guys, all three of those guys got there from some very lopsided trades that the other team has to look back on and say, what the hell happened? Anyway, that's going to do it. Shout out to the Lakers, shout out to James Worthy, shout out to you, and, well, I'm done.